Hi, I'm Paul Vunak. Welcome to Attributes 4. Attributes 4, again, just like Attributes 3, 2, and 1, are not about technique. They're about training method. Now, we have to assume that you already know the VU scale. You've watched Attributes 3 and you know how to destroy and you know how to enter. So we have to start with this assumption. So you already know long-range fighting, how to intercept a blow or how to destroy a blow. From that point, here's where we continue. Street fights are mainly lost for two reasons. Number one, somebody gets caught in a range that they're not familiar with. They're a boxer and they end up on the ground. Or they're a wrestler and they get punched in the face in the bar or something. Okay? That's number one. Number two, wind. Endurance. Okay? These are the two main reasons why most street fights are lost. So therefore, logically, we would back up and say, well, let's come up with a training method to prevent this. So what we have is we have Attributes 4, and that's what that's all about. So starting for long range, we have the VU scale, meaning intercept or destroy. It's not my scale. It's Bruce's, it's Dan's. I'm just a conduit, okay? I don't have a name. Now, from your intercepting and destroying, the next main goal that you want is to get into trapping range. Trapping range is what wins fights. We've told you this before in 23 other tapes. If you can headbutt somebody, knee them in the groin, or hit them with a plethora of elbows, that tends to take people out of commission. So the whole purpose for this is to get you from one range to another range to another range comfortably. Now, let's go back to the two ways or reasons why people lose fights. If you don't know how to wrestle and you get caught on the ground, guess the news, you lose, okay? If you don't know how to box and you get this guy up in front of your face throwing a jab at you and you're down here, boom, boom, well, you're going to lose. So number one, we have to have all four ranges. We have to. And then number two, we have to go back to the second reason why people lose fights. They get tired. They get winded. And once the wind is out of the body, so is everything else. All the other attributes just go down the tube. Now, our training method involves this. We stay out in long range. We try to intercept. We try to destroy. And then we break into trapping range. And from there, you can't really headbutt each other. Okay? So it's sort of not a sparring match at that point, but more of a drill. And you're kneeing, and you're faking the headbutt and thumbing the eyes, and then we go straight to the ground. And then we go through our jiu-jitsu. Everything that Hickson and Hoist and all of our people have taught us. There are millions and millions of wonderful ground fighters out there, and there's so much to learn from them. But the point is, you cannot just be one type of fighter. Not if you want to win street fights. Not if you want to be like a rat, because you don't know where you're going to be. If you're on the ground, it could be 2-on-1. If you're standing up, someone could tackle you. So you want to be like a rat and be able to fight in any range, any way, any style. Okay? That's the key. So, let's get back. We start with long range and we kickbox. We break into trapping range, we simulate our stuff. We drop to the ground and we do our jiu-jitsu and we wrestle. We add the bite once in a while too. Then from there we pull back up, come back out and kickbox, go back in and trap, go back down to the ground, come back up, go back and kickbox. This process happens over and over again. Now you say, why do you do that? In a fight, if you lose your wind, you lose everything. And the main times in which a person loses their wind is when they go from one range to another. If you're a kickboxer and you end up clinched and all the antagonistic muscles in your body tighten up and you're sitting there freaking out and holding on to this guy and not knowing what to do, you're getting tired. If you're moving out in long range and the guy takes you to the ground and you start flopping around like a fish, you're getting tired. So what we're doing is we're eliminating that neurological process that happens during a fight when you go from one range to another by simply saying, hey, let's train that way. Start here, end up here, go there, come back up to here, go back out to here. And through this accordion effect, our brains are being sort of brainwashed into, I don't care where I fight, find me a spot. Because that's why people lose fights. Either they get caught in a range they're not familiar with, or they get tired. So we're going to use this tape to eliminate both of those reasons. So just hang right with me. Now let's reiterate. There are only 4 ranges of fighting, okay? Kicking, punching, trapping, and grappling, okay? Of these 4 ranges of fighting, logic would dictate that we will go to each person who is a specialist, or each art that are specialists at their fields. So in the kicking range, JKD people look into savate and Thai boxing. In the punching range, JKD people look into just, boom, the Western boxer, the guy that gets paid $10 million to fight. Okay? He doesn't have his kicks to worry about or any other tool. In the trapping range, there's Dan and Asano, and in the grappling range, there's the Gracies. Okay? So we go to the best of each range to train. Now, let's get back to the 2 reasons why people lose street fights. They're unfamiliar with one of those ranges, or they get tired. Or a combination of both. They get into a range that they're unfamiliar with, and then they get tired. So the purpose of Attributes 4 is not to teach you a new technique, a new trap, a new punch, a new kick. It is to teach you a training method to develop your attributes. And the attribute we want to develop are 2, actually. One is to keep emotionally always cool, always relaxed. Okay? Boom. Turn on once in a while, and then boom, relax. That's number 1. Not tight and tense all the time. That's a 2-minute fight. Some fights could last for an hour. You don't know. Attribute number 2, we want you to become familiar with every range that there is to fight in, be it kicking, punching, trapping, or grappling. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you a drill that blends the 2 reasons why people lose fights. This is going to hopefully improve our odds of winning a fight. So what we do is we start out again, I'll repeat this, in long range. We're going to work our way in. When we are in long range, we're going to be looking to intercept or destroy, okay, and fight our way. Then we work our way in to trapping. Trapping we're just going to do kind of like Thai boxing, okay? We've mentioned this before. We're not going to really headbutt each other, okay? We just kind of train, simulate. And then boom, we hit the ground. That's when we kick into training. Jiu-jitsu, wrestle, okay? Get back up again, kickbox, okay? This is our goal. We go in and out, like I said earlier, the accordion effect. So emotionally, we don't care. Am I out here fighting you? Am I down here fighting you? Am I up here? Where are we at? Am I in headbutt range? Am I way out here? I don't care. Hopefully, I would like to fight you in trapping range. 99 out of 100 fights, I will fight you in trapping range because I know there's so many wrestlers and so many kickboxers that are so good. However, if we do end up in one of those other ranges, we will have something to deal with. And that's the purpose of Attributes 4. Hang in there. Now remember, the points that we're making here are both psychological and physical, okay? Or I should say mental and physical. In other words, if you were hooked up to an EEG, and if you were out in long range kickboxing and you're a kickboxer, all of a sudden somebody grabs you, okay, your EEG might do this, okay, and gets the news. You start panicking and getting tired, okay? Let's say you're a boxer and all of a sudden you hit the ground and now you're flopping around, you have no clue what to do. Same thing. You started this, you're doing great, all of a sudden you hit the ground, boom, There it goes. And the minute, neurologically, we start freaking out, the wind goes. And the minute the wind goes, the body goes. So the main purpose of this drill is very ambiguous. It's going to be up to you to truly understand what this is about. You have to get from range to range to range without having any emotional content. It's just got to be, I don't care. I don't really give a shit. You want to fight standing up? You want to go on the ground? You want to trap? Okay? In reality, we're always looking to trap. And we've explained that to you for many, many years. Okay? But if you end up in long range, and sometimes you have to get there to get into trapping anyway, or if you end up on the ground, or when you're on the ground, his friends come, or cops come, or whatever, and you got to get back up again, okay? You're not going to freak out, because you're going to have that accordion effect. And that's all we're looking for here, okay? So the guy's going to start out in long range. I'm going to dictate it. Just like everything else we do it with a progression. So I'm not going to say, Mike, Natter, just spar, go, okay? I'm going to say jab first. Then it'll be jab cross. And we'll work our way through the progression. And this is how I want you to train at home, okay? So guys, come on in. You can spar. We're not going to put our gloves on because once we hit the ground, the gloves kind of screw things up, okay? So we're going to box gently, if there is such a thing. And we're just using the jab, okay? Besides, they're expendable. Okay, go ahead, guys. That's a destruction. 4 points. There's 4 more. Time. And I have to start out by saying this. Notice that every time one is going to start to get a little bit too close, that guy gives them a little kick. We always do that. Regardless of what tool that we train with, we never let the guy get into kickboxing range or boxing range. We always keep them out in JKD range, which starts here and ends up here. Okay? So they're always going to give each other a little thigh kick to say, you're not allowed to come that close. And then the destructions will come from that. And this will be a given for all of our drills from here on out. Okay, continue please. Tie up. Can't really spar here. Kind of training, kind of drilling. Few elbows, heads up, knees. Working that range. Get used to it. Emotionally, they haven't changed. They're just as relaxed as when they were in long range. Hit the ground. And I hear sirens coming. Back up again. Keep going. Get one more shot in before the 5-0 comes. There we go. Break. Good. Now, what do we do here? We started from long range. We went into trapping range. Went out to boxing range. Went on the ground. Went back up. Doesn't matter. So what's going to catch us in the fight? Off guard. It's not going to be a range. We're used to it. We do this all day long, okay? Is it going to be wind? No, because since we do this all day long, we develop wind. So this is the main purpose of Attributes 4, is to get you to understand what Bruce has been trying to tell you for 25 years, since 1962. And that is that all fights are fought in 4 ranges: kicking, punching, trapping, and grappling, period. And if you're going to pick one of those 4 or all of those 4 ranges, you should pick the best person in kicking, the best kind of person in boxing, the best kind of person in trapping, and the best kind of person on the ground. And we're not talking about sticking in a video or picking up a book. We're talking about training with them. So you actually get to train with the best on the ground. and then the best boxer, and then the best trapper, which is difficult to find, and then a real good kicker. Okay? Now you know all 4 ranges. You know in your heart you want to fight out of trapping range, and you know in your heart that 99 out of 100 fights you're going to do that because it's so important to you. But if something else happens, we've got to back up. Now hang in there. Now, as we continue our progression, we're going to throw in one more punch, the cross. Okay? Remember, every time somebody gets a little bit too close to us, boom, shuffle kick to the balls, rear kick to the thigh, or a Jeet tech right on the kneecap. Okay? That's always a given. Okay? So you'll hear me repeat that. Those 3 things. We never allow somebody to come that close to us to where they can hit us. It's impossible to destroy or intercept when you're in the same range as he's in. So you want to shuffle to get him, but you want to have him to encroach to get you. And when he encroaches, then you intercept. So please, don't forget that. So the main thing we're working here are the jab and the cross. Those are the main 2 things. However, if you see a little kick to the groin or a kick to the thigh, all that is saying is, you're coming too close to me. Stay away. And that is our way of training. And we do this with everybody. That's intercepting. That's 5 points. Okay? So, with our progression, we don't want your students starting out going, anything you want, go. So we did a jab. Now we're going to add from the jab the cross. Okay? Tom, Patrick? One point for a shot to groin. I'm going to count the VU scale out here just for fun of it. Okay, straight blast into a headbutt, knee, and elbow. That'll be 3 points for an entry. So we're still doing the scale out in long range. Okay, 1 point for a kick. Could have been the groin. Boom. Got 2 points there, and we enter. Okay, this is not sparring, but yet they're training. There's headbutts, there's knees, there's elbows, there's thumbs in the eyes, there's everything going on at the same time. Now they hit the ground. Now we continue the ground game. Now we go to the bite. Find it when it's appropriate. Go back up. Spar. Tie up. Break. We don't care what range we fight out of. We don't care if we're on the ground, if we're standing up. What's going to surprise us in a fight? He's going to take us to the ground. We do that all the time. He's going to kick us. He's going to punch us. The big surprise is going to be when we get into trapping range. And it'll be his surprise, not ours. Okay? 99 out of 100 times, you're going to go in with a straight blast. We, for this drill, kind of both walk in and tie up and do a little bit of Thai boxing. Okay? But that would not be the way we would do it. The way we would do it is go from long range, intercept to destroy something, and then if it were real, and if it were a real kick or a real shot to the groin or a real shot to the eyes or a real broken hand, we would straight blast down the face and get into headbutts, knees, and elbows. And if, and only if, we end up on the ground, then we get into the ground game. And if somebody is better than you at the ground game, after they've been headbutted, kneed, and elbowed, they're also going to get bitten. So this is the whole game. This is how to be a rat, so you can adapt to any situation. Now hang in there with me. Now as we continue, we're going to add a few more lines of attack. And again, gradually, this has to be done. The secrets in martial arts, okay, are not in techniques. If there are any secrets in the world, they're in training methods. And if there is any secret to any training method, it is that you have to do it in a progression. You cannot just learn something like that. First you learn the letters, and then you learn how to spell, then you learn how to make the words in the paragraphs, and then you learn how to write. And then you have different levels of writers. Okay, martial arts are the same way. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to spar. We still always have that groin shot in case he gets too close. In case he gets too close, boom, we intercept, or we kick that thigh. Okay, we're going to stay with the jab and the cross, okay, because we're progressing. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, Mike, I want you to put in high kicks. Net or you blow them away. That's it. Both can enter. Both can blast. Okay, both will still go in the Thai boxing. Both will hit the ground. All we're doing is adding just yet one more tool. These tools that we add every 2 minutes during the tape should be added approximately once a week at home. Okay, again, we're doing this at an accelerated pace to be within the confines of a videotape. Okay, I would not want you to try to do this at home this quickly. Okay, you need to go through this slow. All right, here we go. Guys, come on in and play with it. Go. Boom, destruction, 4 points. So that jab out too, that's it. Break, don't move. Now look how far they are away from each other. This is the range that they have been maintaining throughout their entire sparring session. Now go into kickboxing range, please. Thank you. That's all I wanted to see. Okay, I can't see it too long. Okay, that is not the range you want to fight out of. Okay, you want to fight out of the range they're fighting out of. You have to know how important this is. You have to know. There's no way he could destroy those roundhouse kicks if he was this close. You have to keep the distance. And the only way to keep the distance is to intercept. That's why it's called Jeet Kune, way of intercepting, not way of kickboxing. Okay, let's do it again. Continue. Tie up. Hit the ground. Look for the bite. Good. Come up. Keep going. Fight your way up. Go. Tie up. Separate. Spar. Break. There we go again. So what we've done is we've added yet another tool, the high line, another line of attack, the high round kick. Pretty soon we have all the attacks coming and we just spar it. But you go through it one at a time. Now we're going to put it all together. Anything you want to do in long range, any punch, any kick. Hopefully you're going to try to destroy it or intercept it. Okay? 99% of the time after you would do that, okay, Patrick? Okay, say he jabs me, okay, when I destroy it, 99% of the time, okay, I'm just going to blast him until I get his head. Jab, please, again. Okay, boom, boom, and then I get into this game. We're not going to get to the ground, okay, hopefully. However, for purposes of training, we want to tie up and do the Thai boxing in trapping. So I need to keep reminding you of that. But please do not forget the effect and the beauty of the Jeet Choi, because that's 95% of what JKD is all about, is intercepting and straight blasting. However, two people at the same time trying to do this drill straight blasting will turn into a different type of game, okay, in which we'll get into later. So for right now, they get to kick, punch, anything they want from long range. Tie up, go to the ground, and get our accordion effect. Okay? All things go. Progression's over. All right, ready? Go. 5 points for a destruction, 1 point for a kick. Okay. Okay, almost an interception. Boom, destruction coming in. Tie up right there, go. Elbows, knees, loosen up a little bit, relax. Boom. Separate. Hit the ground, now, go. Roll now, roll. Let each other have position. Just play a little bit, play. Play. You're looking for the bite, you're looking for the eye gouge. Too many good wrestlers out there. Keep moving, keep moving. Pass the guard, there you go. And stand up, I hear sirens. 5-0's coming, let's go, move around, move around. Look around, look around. Make sure there's no friends. Okay, let's go, get back in the fight. Tie up, now. Boom, one more headbutt, now, boom, break. That's it, okay? We have slightly extended this fight, okay? The first move probably would have won the fight for somebody, okay? The first destruction, or the first eye jab, or the first kick to the balls, okay? The straight blast would have really helped the situation, and then the headbutts, knees, and elbows, I think, might have done something. Once they hit the ground, the biting also would help. But you got to remember, this is a drill. So we're playing the game, and it looks so harmless, like two tiger kittens biting each other's neck all the time. But when they grow up, guess the news, they're not playing anymore. They're really going for the neck, okay? So what we do is we have a way of sparring that it's not that tense. It's that again, I use the analogy, you don't need to cut the tension in the air during sparring night. I mean, I remember the days, hey, I remember you from last Tuesday, come on, okay? That's not where we're at now. We are at moving around, slowly, having an agenda, okay? With this type of fighting, you can fight until you're 80 years old. You don't have to train 10 hours a day or 1 hour a day. Maybe 1 hour a week at most. Now let's look for round 3 coming up. Hang with me. Now, everybody wants to know about trapping. How do energy drills fit in? Where do they fit in? Why do we have energy drills? What is energy? Okay? It's sensitivity. It is feeling the body's pressure. Okay? So we therefore have energy drills if something screws up in our game plan. If I go for my interception or my destruction, I'm blasting this guy's face and he puts up a hand. Now I have to feel which way that hand is going. So we have energy drills to do that. You need to understand that most of the time people don't block. Or when the hands do fly up, you just knee them in the balls, and for some unlikely reason the hands go down and you headbutt them in the face. Okay? Kind of works like a Swiss watch. But if you did happen to get 2 hands in front of you, you need to have a way to deal with it. Again, just if Murphy's Law comes into play. So we have drills called Chi Sao and Lap Sao and Hubud. But the problem is, we have people that say, okay, let's do our Chi Sao, and they get in their little thing and they start rolling, okay, and then they say, okay, we're done with that, now let's go out and box. So then they get their gloves on and they box, but they never put it together. And the key is you have to put this art together. That's like having a 5 o'clock Thai boxing class, a 6 o'clock Savate class, a 7 o'clock Wing Chun class, and an 8 o'clock Silat class, and expect for people to know how to blend the arts together. The beauty of JKD is in the blend of the arts. And if you segregate them, you're losing the essence. So under that same mentality, we're not going to segregate our energy drills. We're going to keep them within the confines of combat. So just like bookends, they're going to spar from long range. But when they do get into trapping range, instead of tying up into the Thai boxing position, I'm going to have them go to Chi Sao and Lap Sao drill and some Hubud. And then they're going to go to the ground. And while they're doing their Chi Sao, Lap Sao, and Hubud, they're blending 15, 20, 30 other arts in there. Savate's flying, foot sweeps are flying, headbutts, everything's going. So what we're doing is we're blending. We're putting the self-perfection with the self-preservation to make things combative, to make it functional. So you're not just another guy out there that knows 2 Pak Saos, 5 energy drills, and can't spar with them. All right, ready? And begin. She's out right there. Hubud. Hit the ground. His buddy's car is coming. He's got 10 friends with him. And you're on the ground. I think it'd be time to get up. Let's go. Ho! Keep going. Move around. Tie up. And break. Good. Now this time what we've done, as we've stuck those drills of chi sao and lop sao and hubud, we have stuck those drills in the middle of two combative points. So our brain emotionally is already combative, and it doesn't turn into this antiseptic drill. It turns combative. Because when you have some boxer up jabbing that jab in front of your face and moving, you try to trap him and see how easy it is. Okay? This is why we have training methods to fortify this. Hang in there. Now we're going to do virtually the same thing. We're going to be in long range and we're going to be destroying the limbs. The only difference is we're going to knife spar. Okay? The more elements that you can put into play in this equation, in this foundation that I'm giving you, the easier it becomes. The more you can be like water and fit into any container. You don't know if you're going to be in a knife fight. You don't know if you're going to bust a bottle and use that. You don't know if it's going to be 2-on-1. You don't know if you're going to be on the ground. None of this is ever available to you until it comes. None of this information. So what we're going to do is we're going to knife spar, bringing out the cat-like qualities. But then again, emotionally, just like in a fight, you have to be a little bit schizophrenic, like Sybil, okay? Emotionally, we're going to go from a cat fight here, boom, to trapping here. And then we go back to the ground and we relax again until we can find that lock or that choke or that bite. Then we get back up and we move around again. So, once again, if this were an EEG, it would be like this. And then it would go like that. And then it would go like that. And that's the whole point. Okay? This is not a drill to teach you techniques. Techniques you can learn anywhere. This is to teach you how to fight. Okay, knife sparring, ready? And begin. They're going to always use their kicks. That's a given. Throw the knives, kickbox. Tie up. Hit the ground. No emotional change. We just go from one mentality to the other. Stand up. Continue. Now go find your knife? No. Okay. So, where we're at here is, again, emotionally, we don't care. You have to have that attitude. People don't have that attitude in a street fight. The minute the first thing screws up, they freak out. And then the heart starts doing this, the endurance goes out the window, and they lose the fight. Okay? That's not being a rat. Being a rat is, I don't care what happens. You can drop him out of a 2-story building, flush him down a toilet. He'll be the only thing that'll live through a nuclear war. Okay? You have to be able to adapt to whatever comes, like water. Okay? Are we knife fighting? Is it a bottle? Is it a stick? Is it a pool table? Is it a pool cue? Is it 1-on-1? Is it 2-on-1? Are we on the ground? Are we trapping? Are we boxing? These are all elements that go into street fighting, and you need them all. Yes, granted, we have a game plan. Yes. Blow something away, intercept something, straight blast right down this fucker's throat, headbutt, knee, and elbow him. That's our game plan. Okay? But will things screw up from there? Will we deviate from that once in a while? Yes, this might happen. Maybe he's got a friend. Maybe a bottle comes into play. Maybe a knife comes into play. So we have a game plan, but at the same time, you have to be like a rat. Now hang in there. Well, I hope you enjoyed Attributes 4. Just like Attributes 1, 2, and 3, they're not about techniques. They're about training methods to develop qualities that help your techniques work. Attributes 1 and 2 give us the basics. Attributes 3 taught us how to intercept. And Attributes 4 kind of put it all together for us. So that's the key. Remember one thing if you don't remember anything else from this tape, and that is, it is the qualities of a person that win a fight, not the technique. Thank you.